Hello and welcome to this edition of Minstrels on the Block, where we bring you the finest singer-songwriters in the Valley area. This week's special guest is Frakers Farm, Lance Fraker and Landon Fraker. Appreciate y'all coming on. Glad to have you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, tell me about yourself, Lance. Where were you born?
I was born in Marshall, Illinois, a little farm town, and lived there when I was a kid, and then moved on down to Sylvester, Georgia, and then from there just went to Florida and a bunch of other places, and ended up back near Columbus.
Cool. Now, what'd your parents do?
My dad was a farmer, and my mom taught school for a little while. She played a little trombone, and he liked to sing. My grandma played piano at church, so we'd all get together around the holidays and sing while she played piano, and
cool.
Very interesting and nice.
Now, was there a going to your influences? Was there specific types of music that were played in the house other than played by parents?
There was a lot of Jim Croce, that sort of stuff. Just different stuff, just on the record player. Just played a lot outside, so it was rare that we sat around and listened to the records. But yeah, Jim Croce, and can't even remember the rest of them. But yeah,
very cool. Now, Landon, what made you decide that you liked music? Actually, both of you can answer this.
Well, I don't know. It just kind of happened like anything does. I had a friend, Justin Lane, who you guys know.
Oh yeah.
He was playing. He had just started when I first met him, and then he was playing a little bit, and so they kind of influenced me to get interested in it. And then I started paying more attention to my parents' music that I was listening to, in the house all the time, and then I started getting into music a little more, and it, kind of evolves. So I would say it's just the soul of music drug me in,
Very cool.
Now, man.
Lance, same question.
and I was all through school, from grade school on. I was in the band, so the music just kind of grew that way. Whether that wasn't rock and roll, but it was the trumpet, and then later on the big old tuba. So I had that, and then tried to play guitar through those years as well, but just didn't really catch on until later on, after getting to college and stuff like that, and picked up more of the sixth string and just tried to play that too as well.
Now, open question for either of you. What made you stick with it? What hooked you? Said, this is what I want to do.
The music, just feeling how good the feeling is after when you write a song or you play a song. It's like, wow, that's great. I just did that, and it's just that feeling of being able to put something down and enjoy it, whether that's the newest song or whether that's the first song that we wrote. And it's just that feeling that just keeps us going, keeps me going. So.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere pretty much. All the music. It's just the music is the enjoyment of it, and the way it feels when you got it finished and you're done, and everybody's enjoying it, or you're enjoying it,
right?
However, but yeah.
Now, that's what hooked you, and I'm assuming, don't want to assume too much, but assuming that it's the same feeling that keeps you doing it to this day.
Yes.
Definitely.
Now, what do you write from? What's your influences for writing?
Everything.
Well, he does most of the writing, so. But as far as the lyrical, but lots of things.
Yeah, sometimes he'll write the music and then bring the music to me, and then I'll try to put words to it, or it can go either way. Sometimes the words happen first, sometimes the music happens first. It's just a matter of whether you woke up that morning with a little ditty in your head or not. So it just can come from anywhere. Just try to keep open, basically.
Now, how did you two decide that you wanted to put together this duo? Because, you know, a lot of people go separate ways and do their own things.
Mm-hmm.
You guys obviously play together. So what brought that about?
Well, since we're family, so we were around, and you get to the point when you're learning how to play music to where you need somebody else to play with in order to further your musician skills and, you know, just enjoying it. So we just started playing together a little, and, you know, because we were there to play with each other, it grew on from that. And there was a time when we were really concentrated on it, and then we kind of, you know, spaced out a little bit, and it slowed down. And it's just recently that we've come back together and decided we actually wanted to get out and have people hear the music. Yeah.
So tell me about your experiences. Everybody who, and this might actually tie in with one of the questions at the end of the show. Tell me about your first experience playing in front of people. Was there do you have any specific stories about?
No, it was good. We were kind of skittish about playing in front of people because we play some weird music, and, you know, we weren't really sure if anybody was going to dig it or not. So yeah, the first time we played was at the Good Vibes gathering, and that was easy for us because my partner Courtney Huckabee was putting it on and running it, so I didn't have to deal with anybody else. It was easy for us to get up there and do our own thing, and not have to have somebody direct us. But as far as playing, it was real smooth, real easy. The crowd wasn't huge, so we didn't have stage fright.
Very cool.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it was a good gig to start with, and it made us hungry for more.
Very cool. The best kind.
Yeah. Right.
Now, where do you think that your sound came from?
The universe. That's about all I can say. I mean, a lot of influence with the top ones come off the top of my head. Tom Waits was a big influence on both of us. In the early days, you know, more electric, Jimi Hendrix, and then we got like John Lee Hooker, and who else? Lead Belly. Man, it's just
Everybody.
endless. Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I think we've more gotten into the blues side of it now, just the basic raw blues. Just want to feel that rawness in the music is kind of where we have come to now, and that really drives me. Just the nasty, muddy, needs the, you know,
grunge.
You can feel it when your toes, you know, you know. So that kind of where we're at now, but just try to keep that going.
That's very cool. Now, before we go to one of your songs, we have the most important question of the entire show, and this question shakes mountains and rattles stones. Elvis or the Beatles?
I'd have to say Elvis.
Elvis. It happens once in a while.
Yeah, Beatles for me. Yeah.
Beatles for you? Wow, awesome. We got one answer from each of the guys. Now let's hear some of these guys' music. We'll be right back after this.
This little number is called Brisbane. Eat your Wheaties, drink your OJ, and come out and play. Grab a six-string and your ripped jeans. Let's go and see Dee Dee. She has friends who intend to have a good time. She's a lady. We might go insane, have a train to Brisbane, stick our feet in the sand, get our pale face a tan. We might join a girl band and stick it to the man. That's what I wanna do with you. Lick your whiskey, blow your cocaine. It's a free day parade. Dee Dee's in town, downtown, living with
the underground. The tattoo of you is a hula girl that says free Hawaii. And we might go insane, have a train to Brisbane, stick our feet in the sand, get our pale face a tan. We might join a girl band and stick it to the man. That's what I wanna do with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do. Move your groove to the flow, rock the rowboat over, kiss and tell you fell for the oldest self. A nickel, a dime, this time, next time, you'll be famous. And we might go insane, hop a train to Brisbane, stick our feet in the sand, get a pale face a tan. We might join a girl band and stick it to the man. That's what I wanna do with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do with you, with you. That's what I wanna do.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Minstrels on the Block, special guest Frakers Farm. So guys, tell me a little bit about your project, what you got going on.
Well, we're working on some new music and trying
Always.
to make our older music even better, and we're practicing actually now with a percussionist, so
cool.
we're starting to include that more into our sets, and which just adds another dimension. So that's going in the works, and we hope to record something soon and get that going. And
Get it out,
yeah,
have people hear it.
yeah,
Get your Reverb Nation page.
yeah.
Exactly.
Now you guys generally just play just the two of you, right?
Right.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Now, what do you hope for? What do you aim for with your music? Do you have a goal for the future, or an idea of where you'd like to be sometime down the road?
Comfortability, to be comfortable, and to be able to play music, and not earn a full living doing music, but enough to make us comfortable and allow us to do what we like to do, which mainly is play music and among other things. Gardening and things like that, but it's mainly to to at least be able to get out and have people hear the music and have fans and have people want to buy your CD when you do have a CD out.
Yeah.
It's one thing to put out a CD, but if nobody's buying it, well, not much for it.
Yeah.
So
Having purchasers is always a good thing.
yes, indeed, yes.
Now, going in a little bit to your music, your songwriting, what is, and for perspective of people who may not know your songs, what is your favorite song that you have written and why?
Favorite. There's a Pimp song that we have. It's,
Awesome.
it's one of my more favorite ones. Don't know that it's the best one, but it's one of the fun ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the most fun. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, the pimp and the hoe. That's right.
Goes along with the last section of our show. Now do you write from? Do you reckon you write from more of a lighthearted, because that seems lighthearted, or more of a serious frame of mind, or both?
I would say both. It just depends on the mood of the music that you're playing with, and whether those words go with that tone or not. But
And it can be easier to write a lighthearted song than it is to write a serious song. You know,
but
mostly lighthearted.
yeah, mostly lighthearted.
Now, for you've played music for a long time, and you've written. Was it easier for you to play or write? When you wrote your first words, how did that come about?
One of the first songs I wrote was I was on a musical tour with a show called Cowgirls, and I ended up writing a country song, and which is still a great song to this day. But when I was writing it, the words just came. I think I was sitting in I know it sounds cliche, but I was sitting in a diner and just writing on a napkin, really. So
Perfect.
yeah, but the words just came, and I came with one of the girls that was in the show, and she's like, well, there's a country lick here, just put it to that, and so it just came about like that. And I think the words and playing now compared to like reading someone else's music is much easier for me, just because I have invested more passion about what I'm doing than about, say, somebody else's music. So,
Well, yeah, definitely. You're saying what you have to say rather than saying what somebody else
Right.
had to say. Yeah. Now, as far as we talked about your early influences. Let's just say it's a Sunday afternoon and you're walking around the house, doing whatever. What are you most likely to be listening to on your record, 8-track, cassette, CD, iPod, computer, or iTunes?
Well,
Covered all generations there, folks.
yeah. Well, I like to listen to Parliament on vinyl. I don't know if you're familiar with Parliament, but George Clinton, he had a big funk band in the 70s, and I think he's gone now, but he was playing the whole time, man. He's constantly playing music, and he had Parliament and Funkadelic, and then Parliament Funkadelic, but it's great music, and it kind of keeps my passion for music alive because it's so funky, so raw.
Very
Yeah, so
I think on a Sunday for me it would be either some old blues or old jazz, or if I was feeling good that day, it would be some reggae. So any of that. It's just a wide variety of just what that Sunday brings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, how many songs have you written? Or you written together?
I'm not really sure. We have
quite a few.
quite a few. Yeah,
50.
at least 50.
Very cool. So you've got a good 5 albums worth of material.
We got a repertoire, yeah.
Hopefully so. if they're good, listen.
Now, on this day, we talked a little bit earlier about what hooked you into music, what made you keep doing it. This day, today, what drives you to keep pushing forward with it? And it can be the same answer.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
You
mostly the same answer. It's mostly the soul of the music. It just some people music calls to them, and I feel like we've got the calling, and there's a force that's pushing the music through, and we just happen to be helping it come out. We may write the music, but the music's coming from somewhere else. It's not coming from extremely from us. It's the whole it's everything together, and it's coming out, and it's good to be a part of that. I would say that's probably the main thing, and to see other people doing it, because if there weren't other people out there trying to make music good and not be what everybody wants them to be,
Right.
then I would probably just sit at home and play for myself, because who's there to play for if nobody's wanting to listen? So it's that, you know, it's the music itself, the feeling.
And the fun of it, the laughs that we're,
Yeah.
when we're playing together, and whether that's in front of a crowd or whether that's on the front porch in your rocking chair playing, it's just as long as it's fun, as long as we still enjoy it. So I think that's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Now this is a question that I generally classically have not asked on the show, but I was listening to, there's a certain song that I was listening to, and I was thinking, it's an old song, it's a very old song, and I was thinking, this song is really, really good. I mean, and it's totally outside of anything that I do. And there are certain songs that I really like a lot that I make no attempt to cover, because I do not feel that I can do it justice. But I got curious as to other musicians, because I have songs that I think were just like, wow, how did anybody write that? What do you guys think is the best song that was ever written?
Oh man,
Ooh,
that's a tough one. I can say that just about every Led Zeppelin song I hear, I say, I don't know how they did it. that they make some of the most amazing music, because there's 4 of them, and to make such great music, I don't know, man. But the greatest song, that's
a tough one.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. There's stuff like that that we would never attempt to cover. And Led Zeppelin being one of those bands, Jimi Hendrix, and just there's some people, you can only be yourself, and sometimes when you're trying to be somebody else, it doesn't come out the way it should, and nobody just appreciates it. So, but yeah, that's a tough question, man. I don't know.
For me, one of the best songs that I've ever heard is Elton John's "Someone Saved My Life Tonight." If you listen to that song,
Yeah.
I've listened to that song a lot lately, and it's just like. But besides that, let's check out one of these guys' songs, and we'll be right back after this.
This next one is called Johnny. Johnny robbed a bank on his way to work, working for dirt, like some kind of jerk. Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. Johnny killed a man standing in line, waiting for a dime. It was his time. Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. And the hounds howl. Johnny loved a woman. Her name was Peggy Sue. Cop
shot Sue. What could Johnny do? Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. Run, Johnny, run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Minstrels on the Block, special guest Frakers Farm. So fellas, this is the part of the show, going back a little bit to one of the other segments, this is the part of the show where we pimp stuff. We like to pimp stuff on Minstrels on the Block, the promotional part of the show. So what do you guys have that you want everybody out there to know about? All 5 of them.
Us.
Awesome.
Yeah. Us and we're, like we said, we're trying to get an album together. So the best that anybody could do to help us is to keep their ears and eyes open, and listen to local music, appreciate music, and hopefully we will be there. We're trying to get there, and so that people can hear us. It may be hard to hear us sometimes because we may not be anywhere, but that's what we're going for, And so that's why we're here, is to pimp ourselves. There's not much else we have to pimp.
Well, now that's cool, and that's absolutely not a problem. Do you have? Can they find you online?
Yeah, they can find us on Facebook.
Excellent.
Facebook, Frakers Farm. So just
Google
go there,
it.
type it in.
Google it.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Cool.
And we do have a Reverb Nation page.
Oh,
so,
excellent. Reverb.
So if they ever go there.
Yeah, we've got some recordings on there, but they're from 2008 when we first got together. It's all electric, and we did it in his house on a recording machine, so it's not top quality.
It's a little raw.
It's a little raw. So we still like to listen to it, so it's still on there. People can still hear that. We have about an album. It's an album on Reverb Nation, right?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Check them out.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of questions I'd like to ask to all my guests that come on the show, and one is, and we like, as candid as possible. What do you think of the local music scene in the Valley area?
I was introduced to it at the gathering when we played, and with Lazy
same for me.
Swamis and Bibb City and the Claymores, So, and then we played at Passaquan and were introduced to more, and the more that we listen to it, the more we are involved. That becomes more of what we want to be a part of as well,
Yeah.
So.
At first we were negative, probably more than positive about the local music scene because, people don't enjoy local music as much around here as they do in other places. So it's not a real popular thing to go out and see your local musicians. It's different here, and we're starting to grow towards that, I think, as a community. But yeah, it's the same with me. I was just introduced to the local music scene just this past year at the gathering, and it's good to see people playing good music.
And I've watched your show a few times, and I've seen even more of the local scene.
Yeah.
And it's just expanded that, and I think it's great. It's awesome.
Now, what do you think could be done, or how do you think the music scene, and whatever aspect of the music scene, how do you think it could be improved?
Just more and more, and what you guys are doing here is even bringing it out into more of the open and making more people aware of it. And I think the more individuals become more aware, then they'll be more, accepting of hey, maybe this is, I mean, this maybe not be on our commercial radio, but you know, this is good stuff worth listening to. So,
Well, if more people accepted the stuff that's not on commercial radio, then maybe more stuff that's not on commercial radio would be on commercial radio.
Yeah, right.
And maybe it needs to be.
correct.
Now, for somebody sitting out there in the audience watching the show, maybe they are just starting out, an artist of, you know, it's a music show, like I always say, but it doesn't have to be a musician. Any kind of artist that maybe hasn't quite got started yet, maybe is too nervous to do it or whatever. What advice would you guys give to an aspiring artist watching the show?
Let go of your ego. Let go of it and forget about what people are going to think about you, because you know, if you're worried about that so much to where you can't get out and play, well then nobody's going to hear you, and you might as well just be playing for yourself. So I think it's an ego thing. Like with us, it was an ego thing. So you know, drop your ego and get out there and share your music. Don't let people tell you any different. Not just music, art too, because I know plenty of artists and I know how it is, and it's hard to make a living as an artist. It's hard to get people interested, especially in areas like we are now. You know, things like that aren't popular. There's plenty of areas that it is a very popular thing to go out and look at art and go have a good night listening to music, and you know, we're working towards that. But
yeah, as long as it's fun, keep on doing it, and you know, and just get better with what you're doing and become more comfortable, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy yourself. I mean, if you're gonna stress out and everything, just work past it somehow, you know.
Now, at a show, when you guys are playing, and this kind of goes in with the aspiring artist thing, what do you think is the most important thing regarding a song when you perform it for people?
Whether we feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we feel it, then it does the song more justice. It just, you know, it relates, and hopefully the people can feel it. You know, it's all about the emotion and the passion of the song. You got to feel it to express it. So, I try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Frakers Farm, everybody. Appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great interview, fellas.
Thank you.
Hope you've enjoyed this edition of Minstrels on the Block, Frakers Farm. I'm your host, Brian Mallard. We'll see you next time, only on EATV.
This one is called Pack Me a Pipe. I'm gonna pack me a pipe if I get all my trouble. Pour me a shot, I like to sit double. 'Cause two of you, darling, well, it's fine, that's fine as fine can be. But you say it's my birthday and I'm too drunk to notice. Too stoned to care. So I'm gonna swing by your house on my bicycle, because I know the spot you like to be tickled. And if you're wearing nothing, well, that's fine as fine can be. too stoned to care. Just wanna swing by your house on my bicycle, 'cause I know the spot you would like to be tickled. Yeah, and if you're wearing